to go down to the beach tonight. Fireflies dancing in the promenade light. All those rock and roll bands used to really swing. And I'd do the foxtrot with sweet Christine, speaking to me with a gentle hand. Fly on down to Wonderland. Deep water.
Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in. So today it's all about the Hotel Manly and flicks. Some history about the Hotel Manly. In the 1840s, Manly was mostly unsettled as a town, but an Englishman called Henry Gilbert Smith would change all that as he pretty much built up the Manly that we know today. He was involved in a lot of important projects, including, things to do with the Corso, the ferries, the Manly Wharf, the Pier Hotel, the Stein Hotel, and even those iconic Norfolk pines along the shore there.
Very good. Look at this way.
No wonder he's often referred to as the father of Manly. The Hotel Manly was built on the site of the former Pier Hotel, and that was built in, I think, 1855. Now, the pier was eventually demolished and the Hotel Manly opened up in about 1926. Now, regarding the actual building and, the features inside, I wanted to talk about the sculptor Raynor Hoff, only because he created some fantastic, statues or sculptures, one called Ride of the Valkyries, and of course he created and built a cement statue of the Governor Arthur Phillip. Now this statue was destroyed, but it was restored and it is now still sitting atop of that building. Here I am at Manly Wharf and I'm looking for the Manly Hotel. So you've got the wharf right here in front of me and the main sort of Corso and all that's just up ahead. But it appears this is where the Manly Hotel was. It's now a bunch of apartments. There it is there. Tooth & Co, Jennings Industries, all these sort of people came along with developments, but the final clincher was when Manly Council approved some redevelopments and the Hotel Manly's doors closed for the last time in March 1989. It was demolished soon after that, and in 1996 the Grand Esplanade apartments were opened up, and that's kind of what became of the Hotel Manly. Many people of all walks of life have walked through the doors of the Hotel Manly, whether they were, the staff, guests, musicians, road crew, managers, all kinds of folk. So look, in my previous vlogs, I have, recounted a lot of the bands that played at these former live music venues, but in this case, I might just add some of them in the description. As you can appreciate, there are hundreds of them. Some notables that I did want to just quickly mention are bands like the Zarsov Brothers, the Bombers, Tommy Emmanuel, Stormy Monday, Vegemite Reggae, Baby Loves to Cha-Cha, the Hippos, the Headhunters, the Beatniks, Cash King and the Proteges, Matt Finish, the All-Nighters, the Johnnies, Lime Spiders, Gold Zeppelin, and Dario Bortolan actually played in Gold Zeppelin for about a year. Dario is actually now in the Baby Animals and, a fine bass player. Armando Hurley, he played a lot with Raging Waters, and I wanted to just mention that Armando is a fantastic performer. He played in England, in America, with Australian bands, international acts, I think including people like Tina Turner. So yeah, Vale, Tina Turner. Now, I am always interested in, the people that actually used to go to these venues. So I'll start with Mark Gibson. Mark is a musician who first worked at the Hotel Manly with his band Bandana back in 1985, and he recalls many a great experience playing at the venue. The band, the Zazoff Brothers, they were another band that began playing at the pub just at the front bar there. The owner, or the manager at the time, I think Phil Deaton, he owned it for many years, but I do believe Phil is not around anymore, rest his soul. So yeah, a lot of the punters that went, they have fantastic memories of the place they called the Carver Bowl. There was that resident band Cash King and the Proteges that played there often, and I think there was a bar there called the Moorings. And I do believe that sometimes on a Sunday, they play reggae music, and all kinds of artists would perform there. Sava Lloyd, he was one of these artists. He was in a vocal quartet, and he actually recalls singing in 1955 on New Year's Eve with a band backed by the Port Jackson Jazz Band. That would have been amazing.
This 10th Jazz Carnival open for Manly, and thanks for coming, and let's have the music.
Tony Astle, he's got fond memories of the Carver Bowl and many a night spent at the nightclub Blow Wave when he was about 18. Keith Johnston, he's got a fantastic story. He recalls stopping into the pub for a few beers with a friend. There was hardly anyone in there, and yet sitting at the bar having a quiet drink with someone was the one and only Bon Scott. He wanted to go and say hello, but he was too nervous and intimidated. Scott, he tells me the Milky Bar Kids used to play at the Hotel Manly between 1984 and 1987. Jeff, he's got a great memory of one New Year's Eve at the Hotel Manly when the council had their usual city fireworks. So the bands apparently decided to break, and they told the crowd that there'd be free booze at the bottle shop next door. So a whole heap of people streamed through the shop, taking whatever they wanted, and Jeff recalls coming away with a bottle of Jim Beam. Sarah Moffat's husband, she recalls when he played pool and in a pool competition with Eddie Charlton in the early 80s. Fantastic. And apparently the last song of the night at the Hotel Manly was Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. Other memories, Sarah McGlynn, she recounts her nan Lillian, who used to play the piano in the public bar there in the 50s and 60s, and Lillian used to walk home apparently, all the way to Balgala Heights, I think she said. Jeff Goodwin, he says in 1945 he was a spotter on the roof of the pub looking for Japanese planes, and he was only 10 years old. Wow. Now, I do believe the building was condemned due to being unable to meet the fire codes. Basically there were no fire stairs, and I think the accommodation place sat empty for a number of years, except for maybe a handful of staff that lived there. I did want to say, mention a shout out to La Casa. Apparently that was across the road, and they had sensational pizzas there. So yeah, lots of memories. A lot of bands did play there. There isn't a lot online that I could find of, I think I found Mad Gorilla had a YouTube clip of when they played at the pub, but I wasn't really able to find a lot more. So look, whilst, the pub didn't set the world on fire, there's not a lot of, kind of literature out there talking about it, but I did want to pay homage to the Hotel Manly. It does hold a lot of precious memories for the locals especially. So yeah, whatever happened to the Hotel Manly, well, it is still there, but just, a different look.